This is Working for Progress, a podcast that connects us through conversations about how we craft our working lives and make progress. We'll be joined by our communities from Tribe Porty and Keystone. Tribe Porty is a community co-working space and creative hub. We are full of entrepreneurs, social enterprises, freelancers, charities, and SMEs. Keystone is the other social enterprise which supports women to reimagine their working lives. We do this by providing a holistic approach to business through courses, programs, mentoring, group coaching, and events.
Welcome to today's conversation. I'm Alice, the community manager at Tribe Porty.
And I'm Dani, founder and director of both Tribe Porty and Keystone.
Here at Working for Progress, we're all about connecting good people, sharing their stories, their challenges, and the progress they make for themselves and for others. We hope this podcast challenges your ways of thinking and inspires you to work for progress.
Working for Progress starts with simple pleasures, finishes in awe, and meanders through career journeys in between. Hello, I am Dani Trudeau. I founded Tribe Porty in 2015. We are now 148 member strong community of, I think, one of the best communities there are of people working from here. All kinds of professions, from webcasting, like Glowcast, space tourism, graphic designers, environmental consultants, photographers, all kinds of professions. I also started Keystone Women in 2018, off the back of noticing our membership being 70% women, all sitting around the hot desking table talking about very similar challenges they were all facing around their career, and really wanting to create something that is not just their work, it's their values, it's their purpose, it is able to attend to their family needs, their relationships, their creativity, and their well-being. So we're talking about all those things today in hopes that Alice will pull from the Tribe community and the Keystone Women community to hear interesting stories about how we're all working for progress.
Mm-hmm. So the premise of this podcast is we're hoping to ask different people 5 questions all about their work in life. And in sharing these stories, we hope to inspire people to maybe take a leap of faith in a career change, rediscover what they love in their life, all things like that. So I guess we'll start with the first question, which is a quick fire question. Can you tell us 5 simple pleasures in your life?
Okay. I am the true guinea pig that I haven't thought about these whatsoever. 5 simple pleasures. Let's see. A morning cup of coffee has to be one, hot and exactly like I like it. Before I do anything else, dancing in the park at my weekly Move to Feel class with headphones and an amazing playlist and a circle of mostly women, some men, some brave men, dancing in the grass, in the rain, in the sunshine, checking into our bodies. Number 3, good family dinner, usually involving some sort of board game with my son and my daughter and my husband. 4, probably like a good stretch. I love a good stretch.
Everyone loves a good stretch.
Not everybody, but I do love a good stretch.
We advocate it strongly here at Tribe.
We do. 5th one, probably a good conversation. It's one of my simple pleasures, yeah.
So what is the worst or most random job you've ever had?
Worst job. Cleaning a motel room was pretty bad, but I have to say I was an insurance, not a broker, but someone who went through insurance claims and filed them, and it was the longest summer of my 16-year-old life.
Sounds very long.
Thank God for Sony Walkman and my Tupac CD.
How old are you again?
I know.
What a throwback.
Tupac remains.
So what did you want to be when you grew up, if you ever had that type of aspiration?
I did. From the age of 7, so post wanting to be a hairdresser, I wanted to be a dancer, which I tried to be until about the age of 25. I I do have a dance degree. I haven't done anything with it, but
I mean, you dance in the park still.
I still dance
It
in the
still
park.
brings you joy.
True.
Maybe sometimes that's more important than establishing a career in something. It's still being able to love it in a different way, even if it's not maybe the way that you hoped.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think that kind of somatic awareness and prioritizing of the body is very true today in what I do. So yes, absolutely. It's never gone, is it?
What values must your work embody? Is there anything in your work in life that you wouldn't take a job if it didn't have?
Yeah, quite a few. I suppose contributing towards something better. Yeah, I don't think I could sell fidget spinners or something. I feel like I need to leave this place better than I found it. Something that feels creative and not kind of necessarily in the overall creative sense of making art or something, but something that feels like it's creatively exercising that side of me.
Do you think that's something that you always knew that was in you, or did it take you a while to discover that?
I think I always knew it was in me. I've always found art to be kind of my go-to thing to do if I need to process something or if I'm feeling a certain way. It's that kind of finding that flow. But I don't think I merged that with work until quite later on, because it felt like a luxury side thing as opposed to how to weave that into my work.
Yeah.
And
what is the biggest risk you've taken for your working life?
Well, yeah, I feel like I've had many careers. So aiming to be a professional dancer and then injuring myself. And then I started as a part-time job doing applied behavior analysis and then ended up being an ABA consultant, but never really committing to that because I still hadn't let go of my dancing dreams. And then being in the kind of autism world and then having a kid and then thinking that's all I knew, but not really enjoying that anymore. And then that led me to social enterprise, which I did fall in love with. And I suppose, yeah, the biggest risk was quitting my job at Senscott and starting Tribe, really. So it was kind of, I had to be all in or not.
Yeah.
And it's scary when you give up a good job and you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm so glad I did.
Do you think you could speak a bit about how you navigated that risk? Was it a quick decision? Was it over a long period of time? Did you rely on support from family or friends to make it? Or was it sort of guttural within you, like an instinct and a drive to do it?
I mean, I think it was all those things. I, maybe with hindsight, had realized taking that job for Senscott was a me navigating what I wanted to do. I started a trade school Edinburgh with a friend, and that was all around capital, social capital, and kind of beauty of humans, what humans have to give, and it wasn't based around money. So that was definitely a stepping stone. And then, yeah, I started with groups and trying to figure out how communities work and what was sticky and what wasn't. And I suppose it lots of steps. And then, yeah, got the upstairs of this place going and then took over the building. So yeah, it wasn't all go. It was little risks often. Yeah.
So we kind of gave your name and your business at the start of the podcast, which in the future we're going to do at the end. We're going to try and keep our guests a mystery. And then you'll find out a bit more about them career-wise at the end, what they're doing now and how to find them. But do you have anything to add to that before we maybe move on to something a bit different?
No, other than the work with Keystone Women is still evolving. It's been going 4 years. It started out as events and then we took it online. And so really it's about starting or running a business, but reimagining work in the sense of factoring in your wellness. So there's a lot of wellness rituals and just that kind of craft that you can take over your working life instead of finding a job and having money be the primary focus, and then having like what you love to do on the side, or you're working really hard and you're ignoring other aspects of your life, like your family or relationships, or your creative side. So it's like how we can do that better. So yeah, it's a good challenge.
I think it's interesting to bring back in that word luxury, where I think for a really long time people felt that all of these things were a luxury when actually they should be deemed as a necessity.
Yeah.
If you're going to work just to work and you're not getting a bigger purpose out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm going to ask you a question. So, okay. You're a bit younger than me, a couple of years.
Add a few more.
I think when I was interviewing people for your job, I loved, and a lot of them are your age or younger, and I love that most of them talked about having their values be important to them and how that was part of who they wanted to work for and what kind of jobs they wanted to do, which I was speaking about this with, peers. And I don't think we were ever encouraged to think that way when going for a job. So I guess, how does that sit with you, and how have you entered into your working life?
I think a big change in working lives that have made people question this more is, for especially young people now, we don't get as many luxuries given to us. So a lot of the jobs that we end up working in, especially when we're sort of like in our late teens, early 20s, you're not getting a set contract, you're not getting a salary. All you're doing is being like a guinea pig for somebody else. And that does create a lot of misery, I think. And this is why so many people think about work being more, because we don't have anything to lose. We don't have any security. So I think we're more willing to be risk takers, and we're more willing to let go of jobs.
That's interesting.
If it's not bringing us happiness anymore. I mean, for me, it took me a long time to realize that. Like, I think I've only had one miserable job in my time. And even then I stuck around for that for about 2 years, because there's something innate in me about being loyal to people. So even for me, it was hard to navigate that. And it wasn't until I was in a miserable place and took a big risk and sort of jumped the boat and then found happiness, I realized that that's a really important thing to do. And that's why I try and advocate it as much when I speak to people. Like, if your job isn't working for you, take the risk, because ultimately it's going to pay off at some point. Like, it might not pay off straight away, but it will definitely be worth it in the long run. And I know sometimes that risk you can't take because, you've got to pay the bills. And I'm totally sympathetic towards that. But if you can manage it in a safe way.
And how do you feel? Because I've got like my older self and my son who's 17, who is quite happy to quit jobs easily if he doesn't like something about them or someone there. And I think that's also a pattern of people quitting quite quickly, which I'm not saying is bad. It's just, I think from my generation, it's like you wouldn't do that until you had somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
What's your sense of that? Do you think, that's good, he shouldn't compromise what he wants and he can get another job? He's quite confident that way, I guess.
I think it depends on the actual reasons that he's quitting. Like, if it's just because he's had a spat with somebody, or it's because the boss has rubbed him up the wrong way or something like that, then maybe you need to reconsider it. But if you're coming home from work and you feel miserable and tired and desperate, and you're falling into a headspace where all you can do is watch telly after work because you're that drained, that's when you need to take the risk.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Nice one. You're right. You reminded me of that.
I don't know if we should maybe flip the script here a little bit.
Thank you, Alice. I am going to flip the switch and interview you. So first question, 5 simple pleasures for you.
5 simple pleasures. I think a day out on my bike when it's not windy. Seeing a rainbow when it's coming out of the sea, which happens a lot in Portobello. Like,
it's nice.
I feel like that's a magical mystery. I've never seen it happen so often on a coastline before. I love it when I'm pouring a flat white and all of the milk just falls perfectly. And it's a perfectly symmetrical pattern. That feels good. And it takes a long time, as any working barista knows, to perfect that.
Nice. I have
So I
not.
love that. When I see a dog and it sees me and it starts wagging its tail and it wants to say hello, and I get to have a little cuddle with it. How many have I done now? 4.
One more, I think.
One more?
I've lost track, but we'll give you one anyway.
Oh, what's another one? Having a lay-in.
Is that like a lion?
Yeah. But sleeping in, waking up on your body's natural clock and just chilling in bed for a while, you know, like having time to just enjoy that little bit of morning
Nice.
before you get going.
Definitely a simple pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Worst or most random job to date? Don't say this one.
So the most random job I've had is during lockdown when I was out of work. A friend asked if I wanted to work on a film set making coffee. I said yes, and it was for Princess Switch, which is a Vanessa Hudgens film. So I spent most of my time chatting to like the crew members, making Vanessa's mum chai lattes. She's an absolute hoot. And then I also got asked to be an extra, which was pretty fun, like getting to work on a green screen, exercising that GCSE drama that I've never used. That was great.
Nice. I don't think I know Princess Witch, but
I've not seen it myself.
Oh, right, okay.
You've not seen your work.
Nice. Nice, I like that. That's not worst, surely. It's random.
That's my most random, for sure.
Good, okay.
I wanted to keep it light.
Fair enough. And did you, like, as a kid, know what you wanted to be when you grew up? Or is that the same? Has it changed?
So I remember this being a question that got asked a lot through secondary school. And I always said that I wanted to be a teacher. And looking back, I think this was just because my mum was a teacher. It was something that I knew, felt familiar, felt like I could have been good at it. But I don't think in my heart I actually wanted to do it. I think I'm somebody that's never actually known what they've wanted from their work in life. I've known what I've liked and I've known what I've enjoyed, which has always been people, which is why I've stayed in hospitality for such a long time, and technically still am in. But yeah, I don't think I ever knew. There's never been that dream job, you know?
Yeah, I think that's quite common. I don't think we get that part right in school, but then sometimes you don't know until you have the experiences to have the other ideas of what it might look like. And then even if we asked, you know, about values or what you enjoy, again, when you're young, maybe you don't have that experience.
I don't think you think of the world in that way.
So what is the right way to do it? I guess it's options, isn't it? It's being exposed to as much as possible. Yeah. We actually are linked up with a mentoring program through a couple schools in Edinburgh for members here at Tribe, because I just love the variety of what people do here, and I feel it's really inspiring to young people who didn't know they could I don't know, do specialized things like all the Gaelic names for bodies of water, which someone does here. That's exactly what he does. So
I mean, even as an adult, when I came into this job, I was amazed at some of the jobs people had, because I didn't know that they were a thing. I didn't know that they were existed. And you can't help but be like, how did you get there? How did you get to that point? Because you don't know the story. Yeah,
totally. Like, I never knew that. I mean, obviously it is obvious when you think about it, but I never knew someone's job was writing all the how-to manuals of everything that you unbox and use. I won't name names. Cool. Okay, moving on. Now, what are the values that your work has to embody for you to commit to it?
There's always got to be an element of helping people. I love helping people. I love making people laugh or smile, which again is why I worked in cafes for so long, because it had that really strong human element to it. And I remember when I got to a point where cafe work wasn't really making me happy anymore, because it was too physically demanding. And as I said previously, you don't get any support in your outside life. You know, you don't get your set rota or set hours even. Like, it made it very hard and was feeling quite miserable. So then when I started thinking about this exact question, and I was looking through Indeed and all these job websites, I kept reading the job descriptions and thinking about how none of these jobs spoke to me. They all just felt like you were sort of, is it a pencil pusher job? None of them gave me any spark. And it wasn't until the community manager position came up where I was like, wow, that's something that I could do, that's something that I'd enjoy. And it was definitely just because of that human element to it. You know, it's still helping people, it's still connecting people. It's like got everything that I love about working in a cafe without all the crap stuff, you know?
Yeah. It's a journey, isn't it? It's
Mhm.
not like you arrive I mean, I guess some people do. Speaking from a kind of entrepreneurial thinking or background, it's all kind of information coming to a point. And I think when you find or create a job or a career that feels just right, it's like all the things come into
Mhm.
play. So your experience in working in a cafe, you're learning from that, what
Mhm.
you enjoyed and what you started not to enjoy all informed your next
Yeah.
step, didn't it?
Mhm. Absolutely.
So there's no wrongs, are there?
No.
No. What is the biggest risk you've taken to your current working life? You're so young. Like I feel who knows where you're gonna go, but
Yeah. I mean, I guess I already alluded to it a bit there. I was working in a cafe where I didn't feel valued. Um, the hours were grueling. We were always short staffed, and I didn't believe in our product either because what we were selling I didn't think was a good product. So even in that sense of it, wasn't sparking me joy anymore. So me and a lot of friends that worked there at the time all decided to quit. Um,
rub off.
Lost a lot of staff in one go, which says a lot.
Mm.
I think if that ever happens to you as an employee, you definitely need to think what's happened here and really delve into that to make it better for the future people that work for you. But I'm digressing a little bit there.
It's okay.
So I decided to leave that job for another cafe job, which was less pay, less hours. It was a part-time contract, but I was literally just in a position where I was like, if I keep doing this, like I've just lost the will to live sort of thing. Like I was so miserable. And I think changing to this cafe, which I still work at now and I absolutely love it, just changed the game for me because I've refound myself a little bit. I was working for somebody that I really enjoy working for. Our interests align. I believe in what I'm working for again. The customers were brilliant, like so friendly and amazing. And then that enabled me to find this job here, you know. If I hadn't have taken that risk, I wouldn't have rediscovered myself. And I'm definitely still rediscovering myself now because I spent so long in what I'm calling my hibernation phase, where I wasn't interested in the world. I wasn't engaging with it anymore because I didn't have the energy to. And it's very easy to do that when you don't have the energy. And it takes a long time to recuperate from that, I think.
Mm.
So that was a big risk in terms of like money and
Yeah.
lifestyle, but it was a necessity, almost like a survival necessity for my own personal growth.
And you listen to that and sort of ignore
Mhm.
it and then become ill or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I was mentoring someone today through Keystone Women and we were talking through her future work and how it's going to be a combination of something new she's starting up, but
Mhm.
also a part-time employment position too. And I love the way that we're getting away from one way of working,
Mhm.
one company full time, or lots of people do 2 or 3 different things and
Yeah.
it kind of feeds
Mhm.
different parts of their
Mhm.
lives. Cool. I don't really think I need to ask you the last question. Unless you want to shout out for something.
Shout out Tribe Porty. To hear more about Tribe Porty and Keystone, you can find us on all social media platforms. Please head over to our website and subscribe to our newsletters, which includes monthly blogs to provide helpful insights into how we craft our work in life. This has been Working for Progress. We hope you join us again.